Welcome back to Brazen Brits. My name is Lawrence.
And I'm Natalie.
And we are back for our first collaboration of 2025. And this is very, very appropriate for us right now. And so, let's just get into it. I'll tell you what it is. It's when things go badly. What do we do and how do we change the plans? So, let's run the intro and then we'll tell you all about our experiences.
It really makes me wonder.
Right, as we said, this is our first collaboration of 2025. We have some changes in participants, and so I think we're going to mix things up a bit more around this year. I'm interested to see how this goes, but thank you to all the channels below for taking part of this. For those of you who have not seen one of these collaborations, we pick a topic, typically chosen by you. Any suggestions, throw them in the comments. But we'll pick a topic and then we all discuss it, our own points of view on this topic.
Yeah.
Now this is interesting because we're all different types of RVers, we have all different types of RVs. As you can see, we're in a van right now, and so there's a lot of different perspectives and stories that the other channels have. So we have picked 3 plus a bonus then of times when our RV life went to shit.
Alright, so one of the biggest things that kind of went badly, I'm going to swear, was COVID for everyone, I guess. And it was our first big trip. We planned to be on the road for 6-7 months, and we had everything planned. We knew which campground we were going to every week. We usually like a month out in advance, and then COVID hit, and that absolutely threw a spanner in the works. Now you don't say spanner, they say wrench.
A wrench in the works.
A wrench in the works.
And it really did suck, and we tried to live it out. As we went across the country, everything started shutting down, and so we went through a month where some stuff was shut down, some stuff wasn't, and then eventually we ended up in Arkansas, in Little Rock actually.
Yep.
And everything was literally shut down. To the point where you couldn't even book campgrounds, anything like that. So we actually made the call there just to go to our home base. Luckily we have a home base.
And that's what sparked the first point we're going to make. When you have to pivot and change plans, that's when we knew we needed a home base. So.
Yeah, and I think it's different. I think a lot of people we know, they either have family that they can use as a home base, or they have somewhere to go. For us, it's not quite that. Yes, we have friends, and we know lots of you guys would take us in if we really needed to, but we don't have family in the US, so having a home base for us is, pretty important kind of anchor point for us. So the second one was on the same trip, and it was actually immediately after we hit the road. We had everything planned. We did have a farm, so we had a lot of we used to raise steers and chickens, so we had a lot of meat in our refrigerator in our travel trailer that after the first week we realized was broken. And so it kind of worked intermittently, and then it broke. Now people are probably laughing about this. I'm sure people have had issues, but we could not find a replacement fridge anywhere. And even when we did find the replacement fridge and it was covered under warranty, it would have taken weeks for it to be delivered, and then no one would install it because in our rig you either had to take the window out or take the slide out to install the fridge. So we bought a freezer, a chest freezer from Best Buy, and we were scooting that around our rig for about probably 2 months, 3 months, until we could actually, our schedules lined up to where our fridge would be delivered to where we were, because we obviously had everything planned out. And anyway, so we did put all of this on our videos. I'm sure I'll overlay some clips now, but it was a hell of a time. Like, for something so simple, that's like pretty basic, having all of our food, but we literally had about $3,000 worth of steaks and chicken and things that were going to go to waste. So
I'm going to do a little bonus feature on this one then, Lawrence, because you've just spurred a memory for me. Is also you can have major pet problems on the road. They can throw a spanner in, wrench in the works. I'll get there. And for us, that was when we hit Texas and Roxy bloated. And we were on the road, so we don't know anyone. Code had just hit, so luckily we knew what bloat was in Dobermans and deep-chested dogs. It's very common, and so we rushed her to the nearest vet. They were curbside. We weren't allowed in there, but we didn't really have to change our travel plans because remember we were moving week to week, and actually as it happened, I think we maybe were 2 weeks at Mount Pleasant, but anyway. she had the surgery, she survived, all was good, and then when we moved to the next place, some random vet did the stitches for us. So that actually worked out quite well, I suppose, for such a dangerous problem for our dog to have.
Yeah, it's true.
Things like this happen on the road, and you have to be prepared for stuff like that. Like, I always know where the local vets is, all of that kind of stuff, even just emergency boarding, daycare places. That was definitely another life lesson for us.
Well, actually, and that takes us on to the next big life change when things went to shit. I will swear, because it was a tough time. Last year we had a whole bunch of travel plans in our travel trailer last year, and our dog Jack's got cancer.
Yeah.
So anyone who's been watching the channel will, you guys kind of lived through this with us. But he had to have regular chemotherapy. We had some trial chemotherapy stuff that he was doing. I think he eventually had 5 different types of chemo, and it took about 6-7 months. And then he passed away late last year. But
we still tried to incorporate our plans around that, though. So, I mean, originally when we thought that the chemo would work and he would only need it once a month, we did think about that we could travel, up to Virginia, and then he could have his chemo in Virginia. We were desperately trying any way to think how we could still get out of Florida, so to speak.
But one of the biggest problems with that was the cost. Now, Jack's was insured, but you have a limit on the insurance, and we hit that pretty quickly.
Yeah.
So all of the money from that, we had some, not necessarily financial issues, but we knew that we had to pay for Jack's treatment, and so one of the things that had to go was our travel trailer. And so that really turned all of our plans upside down, not only for that last year, but for this year as well. Like, we're still
had
trying
commitments this year.
We're still trying to build up our money to be able to buy another rig, but we do know that we want a Class A, so that will be our next rig. So for now, the time being, if you've been watching, we have our van for now, and then we'll be saving up for the Class A. All right, and I have one final one, Natalie.
Okay.
Which I'm not going to say too much about because it's next week's video at the weekend.
Oh, okay.
So a lot of people already know we do put live updates on Facebook, so our videos are a little bit behind. But the old van, the maiden voyage in the van, we've just completed it. The major voyage in next week's video is the van breaks down on day 1. So I'm not saying any more, but it changed a lot of our plans over it. We had a very, very tight schedule, and this was the worst thing that could possibly happen. So over the next coming weeks, you'll be hearing about that, and it's going to be, I haven't even looked at the footage, it's going to be awkward.
Yeah.
We weren't in a good place.
No.
So anyway, all right, anything else?
No, I think we covered quite a lot of the main ones there. Yeah.
I think that the main point is that RV life, there's always something that's going to go wrong, whether it be your health, your pet's health, it could be vehicle problems, it could be weather, anything like that, all of those things, and you have to be prepared. We learned very early on in our first trip, you need to be able to be flexible. So yes, we have our major things that we want to do, and then in between you need to allow some flexibility for any issues like that. And I think most aged, that sounds wrong. Sounds ageist. Most experienced, seasoned. Thank you, seasoned. Much like my face. No. So anyway, any seasoned RVers will know that you have to have these backup plans and things going. Another thing is money as well. You have to have some money put away because there's always going to be problems or unforeseen costs. So always make sure you've got that rainy day fund for anything like that.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you to everyone below for joining us again.
Yes.
We love the collaboration,
Looking
so we're glad they're back.
stories.
In fact, we've just been to the RV United rally, and everyone said how much they love the collaboration. So I know they're glad we're back. If you do have any suggestions for topics that we could talk about, then please throw them over, and we will get those on the list. But yeah, thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe. Hit the thanks button. Natalie loves it when you do that. And if you'd like to become a Braziere and support a couple of tits, Natalie and myself, you can hit the join button. All right, we will see you on Sunday where our van breaks down. Spoiler alert. And if not, we will see you next month for the next collaboration.